Welcome to the Disney Cruise Line Blog Podcast. On this special episode, we recorded it live from Fathoms aboard the Disney Magic during the Disney Cruise Line Blog Group Cruise number 2, which sailed from Miami on February 20th and returned to Miami on February 24th. During the cruise, we stopped at Nassau and Castaway Cay and then ended with a nice relaxing day at sea. This podcast was actually recorded on the afternoon of February 21st after we spent some time ashore in Nassau. We listened to the feedback from our first live podcast recording that we did back in June on our first group cruise, and we did a little better job of trying to get the audience mic'd up. Really, I passed my cell phone around using it as a voice memo recorder. So we're trying to mix that in here with the audio. Hopefully it's a little bit better and everybody can be heard this time around. There was some background noise there in Fathoms. Somebody was pounding something. I don't know what was going on, but there were some noises that were out of our control. Please bear with us on that. And we hope you enjoy this episode. And please stick around for the end. We have an exciting announcement. Or if you get bored listening to it, jump to the end. We've got an exciting announcement. Welcome to this live recording of the Disney Cruise Line Blog Podcast here in Fathoms on the Disney Magic during Disney Cruise Line Blog Cruise number 2 with Storybook Destinations. We are kind of the afternoon of our day in Nassau. It was nice and rainy this morning. Nassau? I mean...
Did we go to space?
Yes.
Okay.
Space is awesome.
Space is great.
Anyway, it started off really great this morning with rain, but then it cleared up, the sun came out, and it was a nice day. It's had a nice time ashore, a little bit.
You're missing the big point of your Baby Yoda on your coffee. That's the highlight of the cruise so far, I think.
All right, so this morning some of us got together in Cove Cafe, and we had coffee, and it was the first time I got to play with the new, or not play with it, but order a drink from the new machine that prints a design on top of your latte.
We're not ordering one of those, right? We're not going to order one of those machines for our house.
Yeah, we should.
Nope.
It's
Olaf, nope.
We picked up. Turns out there are 4 different versions of the child, Baby Yoda. So we were able to see 3 of them.
Oh, so we're going back to get the 4th one.
No, we didn't. Did you anyone get a picture of the 3rd one?
No, we have to go back. We have to go back.
The 3rd one we saw, but we did not get a photo of. It disappeared really quickly back in its containment pod and quickly left with a lid. But I think we're doing some construction in the back.
It's the Magic. They would never be doing construction on the Magic.
Okay, cool. All right. So we're going to just kind of go around the room. Isabel's going to walk around, and we're going to
have an interactive podcast.
A little interactive segment here about kind of what everybody's favorite things are in terms of the World of Disney Cruise Line. And I don't know, why don't we start... We'll go in reverse order of this list Isabel put together for us. You can go either way, but I'm saying, let's start with evening show.
Do you want us to answer first?
Let's go with the end.
We're going to go at the end.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Does it have to be one that's currently playing?
It can be whatever you want it to be.
All right. Are you going to answer, or you want to go at the end?
I'll go at the end.
Okay. Then why don't you start with Justin? Justin, favorite show? It's Lightning Round.
Villains.
Twice Charmed. Beauty and the Beast.
Twice Charmed.
Beauty and the Beast.
Flushing.
Believe.
Tangled.
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 Golden Mickeys.
Hercules the Musical, which I only saw once on my honeymoon
Wow.
in 2005.
That's going way back.
You got it.
All right. I've always been a fan of villains, but if we want to keep it in terms of current, I'm going to go with Tangled.
Tangled, yeah. Isabel?
You stole Hercules, but I haven't seen
You
it.
never
I've
saw
just
Hercules.
listened
You
to
weren't even
it.
born.
So I'll go with Villains tonight.
All right, villains tonight.
Villains tonight's a good choice. Okay, next question for the lightning round.
Favorite main dining room restaurant?
Tiana's.
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 Royal Palace.
Random.
Animator's Palette.
Tiana's.
Animator palette.
One Show.
Tiana's.
Rapunzel's.
Enchanted Garden.
Tiana's.
Karaoke's? No, I mean,
Oh my gosh. At least you didn't drop a parrot key in there.
all right.
You did love karaoke's though. You were a karaoke's fan?
It's really hard. It's really hard to pick between Tiana's and Rapunzel's.
It is. They're both very big favorites of ours.
But you know, we recently went to New Orleans for a weekend, so I'm kind of feeling that Mardi Gras vibe.
Yeah.
And I miss kind of hanging out in New Orleans. So even though we're on the Magic with Rapunzel's, I kind of like Tiana's.
They do that fun parade. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
You can do Stomp Stomp.
Right.
Anyway, all right. Now here's a little bit wider question. What is your favorite itinerary or favorite destination? We'll kind of open it up.
Alaska.
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 It's tough. Norway, Iceland, Scotland.
Canada.
Alaska.
Transatlantic. Alaska.
Alaska.
Alaska, but it has to have Hubbard Glacier.
Oh,
Alaska.
I take it nobody likes Alaska.
Right. I love Alaska, but Norway, Iceland was a special. You sleeping on the bench was probably one of the more classic moments of any cruise that I've been on. Also, I got the bed to myself for most of the night, so another bonus.
I told Heather I was going to sleep on a bench months right when we booked the cruise, and I wasn't going to disappoint her.
And you took the blankets from Disney Cruise Line to sleep on said bench.
That was an Equerry because it was very, very cold north of the Arctic Circle.
So what's your favorite itinerary so far, Scott? Oh boy, now you're on the spot. Right.
I think it's well established. I really like going to Iceland, but nobody likes hearing that over and over and over.
Yeah, that was a good cruise. But
It's-
Alaska's like really edging probably for like,
Alaska's awesome, but I think the Mediterranean is still kind of new. The whole European, there's a lot to still discover there.
So are we doing favorite port next? Are we segueing into that?
Yeah,
Skipping me.
yeah. We're
Oh, okay. Yes, Mini Trixie.
Alaska.
We know you love Alaska. You're wearing the Alaska sweatshirt.
you're wearing out the Alaska sweatshirt.
Yeah, you kind of are. We're going to need to go back and get a new one.
If only they offered Hubbard Glacier again.
So we're going to do port?
Okay. Favorite port of call, except Castaway Cay.
Yeah.
Wait, can I just go first
Ooh.
because I'm so excited?
Yes,
for
you
it.
can go
Catch
first.
a can.
Because you just like catching candies
When they're randomly open or
when
closed.
they're open.
Bermuda.
Bermuda, as shown by my shirt.
Tortola.
Given Alaska loves Skagway.
Bermuda.
Sea Lion.
Oh, Naples, maybe?
Mykonos.
Oh.
I've already been on a Greek cruise. Tammy wedding.
Might have some questions about that.
Mine is Oslo. Loved Oslo. Heather and her family got to enjoy the Sanders extended time in port. What that means is that the ship all aboard was 5:30. We rolled on at 5:15. So typical. Now the Kellers also experienced, although we were all similar. All aboard was 3 o'clock. Everybody in Sitka, we were all still getting on at like 3:15. But
We were
so
at
was
the
the cruise
port, though.
director and everyone else.
We were at the port.
So it wasn't just like the Sanders rolling in right, pushing the time.
If you ever want to live on the edge, come hang out with us in port one day.
Yeah, San Juan all aboard 4:30. 4:15 we get on board. So we make our time for sure. And for Heather, we were like, we've got time to go to the fort. It's right there. The ship's right there. She was like, no, we don't. Get on board right now. It's only 5:15. We have 15 minutes.
I guess we have to go back.
But yeah, I like Oslo. What about you, Scott?
I'll go back on what I previously said about itinerary. Reykjavik still is number one for me. It lived up to the hype that I made up in my head leading up to that cruise.
So not Ecuador with Grilla.
Well, that's cool, but I actually got to sleep on a bench that I told Heather I was going to do. So it was.
Good thing we didn't pay for a concierge stateroom when you sleep on a bench.
Why would you want a room in Norway with a window or a balcony that would not let you sleep when
True.
there's
Midnight sun.
daylight at midnight 1 a.m.?
Right.
I
Exactly.
need my 8 hours of beauty sleep.
Isabel, what was your favorite port? Ketchikan? All right. All right, next question of the lightning round.
I feel like I've skipped around. I don't know how to go in order. All right. Let's go with ship. Favorite ship. And I want to know why.
Oh, snap.
Dream. Got married on it.
Oh.
Dream, we're married on it.
Wonder. It's had the best food so far.
Every time I'm on the Wonder, I say she's my favorite. I can't tell you why.
The Dream because of the crew.
Oh, the Dream. I like the adults area.
Dream.
Ditto.
Fantasy, she was my first, and I love the decor there.
Wonder because it was the first.
Princess.
Fantasy, because I like the longer cruises.
The Magic because I like the classic ships and she goes the best places.
Stole my answer, but whatever.
The Fantasy because of the atrium.
So the Magic is my girl, but I do love the Wonder too.
How do you not say the Wonder? We spent our honeymoon on the Wonder. They get married on. They get married on the Dream, and they pick the Dream, and we should have picked the Wonder together.
But the Magic has taken us to Iceland, Norway, the Mediterranean. Is taking us to Greece.
But like I said,
Midnight
Heather
sun.
stole
You
my.
slept on a bench. The Magic. Thank you, Justin.
It's the Magic, hands down. But like I said, Heather stole my answer, and for now, I'm continually picking a classic cruise ship versus the Dream class because
Right.
I like the smaller ships where it doesn't take me 75 minutes to go from point A to point B. What is going on?
Isabel's getting some notification.
Why are we not quieting our cell phones for this?
It's probably Heather's kids. It is, isn't it? It is. Well, Anna and Charlotte have joined us in the podcast today from New Jersey.
All right. So, since the last time we got together, we've learned a lot about what's coming ahead, and during that last group podcast, I stuck my foot in the mouth and said they'd never name a ship that started with W because the initials would repeat, even though somebody had emailed me prior to that saying it was the Wish, and I didn't believe them.
Hey, the Disney Cruise Line blog is not a rumor blog.
I don't know.
It's factual information.
I forget a lot of stuff. Also, I'm not good at reading. I still have the email though, so at least it was.
You do.
So with the Wish, things kind of got revealed slowly at D23, and same things were re-mentioned again. But what would you like to see on the Disney Wish that hasn't? Well, not much has been revealed, but what would you like to see that's not necessarily on the Magic class or Dream class ship that would separate it?
Picture this. Rapunzel in the stern. Her long hair swinging, except you can actually ride her swinging hair as you sail across the seven seas.
Like one of those like ropes into the river? That might be cool. You just
Justin's answer is hard to top.
All right, we're done.
What he said.
Honestly, I'm going to be honest. I feel like that, there are some certain other cruise lines that are trying to, Disney needs to kind of step their game up in the deck category because you have a pool and like one water slide and maybe the aqueduct.
So I would like to see the Wish offer a little bit more to do on that pool deck for those folks that enjoy a sea day. And honestly, the golf is great. That stuff is awesome. But I think we need a little bit more in terms of other than a splash zone and a pool and funnel vision. I think we need a few more thrilling things because, to be fair, Isabel's going to be 13, and at some point, the Twist and Spout's great, but let's be honest, this is her 28th cruise, so let's do something to kind of let's be a little more enticing to that demographic that we can do a little bit more with. And teenagers would love to see more than the Mickey
Pool and things like that. So that's what I would
like to see on the Wish. I would like to see a little bit more on the terms of, with the lines of the Aqua Dunk and the Aqua Duck, they could certainly spread it out a little bit with something. That's what I would like to see on the Wish.
Well, they could do what Justin said. And
they could certainly do that.
No,
you could be able to zip
wait.
line from point A to point B.
Hold on.
Rapunzel's hair.
You can make that into some kind of rock wall?
And then I could get younger.
Mother knows best.
I might be it.
This is kind of weird, but it's not necessarily something. It's more of like the planning. Like, it's really weird to have to like walk up aft and walk through cabanas and do that awkward thing. Like, I'm not eating, please. But you're trying to walk to the pool deck, or that the logistics of walking around, or sometimes like after hours isn't very conducive to traversing back and forth to some events, depending on where your staterooms are. So hopefully there was some better thought put into the logistics of walking around.
That's logistics. What do you want to see as an amenity?
That would be an amenity. Try to walk past the kids
All
club
right, Disney
on
Cruise Line,
any
don't
of the
listen
ships.
to this because Scott is really setting the bar low. Isabel, what about you?
Okay.
Okay, this is okay. Shh. This is kind of off on a limb, but you know how we have Tiana's and Rapunzel's, and they all have their own show. Can we get another one like Aladdin? We could have like the parade.
We could fly on the magic carpet.
Oh.
Dude, Aladdin's gonna be on the back to the next one.
Isn't there a magic carpet on another cruise ship?
Shh.
I don't know.
That's a good idea, Isabel.
It's already been.
Or some other thing like that.
So you're interested in restaurant experience. Okay, cool. That's a good job. I
thought this through.
I'm so proud. Okay, Scott, what else do we have?
What don't you want to see on the Disney Wish?
Ooh, this one's making people think.
Yeah.
Spaces with bad acoustics, like a restaurant here.
Oh.
Yeah. That's a
Walking.
good one. I don't know.
A casino.
Nice.
Crickets.
The basketball court on top of Powell.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
All right, so people are going to hate me, but I don't want another animators because we have 4 ships with animators. I know, I said people will hate me. I know, I'm going to have to watch myself when I sleep tonight.
People are going to hate my
Ooh, too.
But I want something different.
Don't take away the bathtubs.
I'm sort of with Heather. I want all new restaurants.
Okay, good. So everyone's not going to hate me. I don't want to see Paulo.
I don't want to see Paulo.
Yeah,
I'm ready for something new.
And I'm one of those people that have said, if you would please give me the credit to use towards Remy, I would use it towards Remy instead of Paulo.
I think additional dining options are not the worst. Wait, we're not talking about we don't want to see. You missed that question of what you would like to see. Now we're on don't want to see.
Okay. No, I
don't want to see another Paulo. Scott.
He can edit me out. It's fine.
I don't know. I don't want to see bad design that causes problems in walkways.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Try to walk past the kids club in the evening or everybody's standing outside.
Dream and fantasy. You're right.
It's not much better here now.
You're right. No, you're right. If that's a
with the Ocean Air
situation.
Club.
I agree.
It's not a very well traversed area.
Isabel's
Okay. People might come for me also.
Don't come for my child. It's the only one I have.
Cabanas. I don't want to see another cabanas.
want to see cabanas.
I want to see something different.
Like what?
I don't know. Something.
Just the theming of cabanas?
Yeah.
But you still want a cabanas
Yeah.
like place.
Yeah.
So new theme.
Yes.
Okay.
Not the same thing.
Come for you. It's okay.
Fair.
As long as it gets over Faye, it's okay.
Okay.
You didn't say you wanted a Tijuana Flats and steak.
Oh. Miss my
I'm not going to say no to that, or a specific Mexican restaurant with tableside guac.
You don't need any guacamole. Go to the next one.
I like some guacamole.
With lobster, then you really can't eat it.
Right. So, transitioning from the new ship, what about the new private island destination? Not island, bad word. Private cruise destination of Lighthouse Point. We're roughly just dealing with concept art that came out at D23 and some rough mentions and concept art that you can dig through and look at that came out a couple weeks ago in higher resolution that kind of looks like there's a zip line area, adventure area. There's areas for like family beaches, adult beaches, even though it doesn't straight up say adult beaches, it just doesn't say family beach. I think we can read into that it's the adult area. Spaces for cabanas and future cabana expansion. But wondering what based on what you've heard about it, what do you like the most?
That unlike Castaway Cay being largely flat, not really many tall trees, Lighthouse Point seems to have a lot more trees, and the concept art seems to maintain a lot of them for walking paths, so that as you're walking from one side of the facilities to the other, you're not just getting absolutely beaten down by the sun. So it seems like they're going to preserve more of what's actually there.
Here, Justin.
I do like the zip lining.
I think some of the other cruise lines have developed private islands and private destination spaces that have provided additional amenities that Disney needs to meet or exceed.
I like the idea with the different areas. It's going to kind of spread the crowds out some more. You're going to have some people at the pools and some at the slides and some on the beach, and so it won't be so crowded in beach areas.
I love that it's Joe Rohde that is at the head of this.
Tammy's right.
I just like that there's going to be different things to do there than at Castaway Cay.
Just want to go to the lighthouse that we're not allowed to go in.
That's what I was gonna
Preserved
say.
area. And we're going to respect that.
I'm going to pretend I'm a local. The locals are allowed to use it.
For
I look
educate-
like a local behind.
Yes.
Okay.
So it would be, I mean, there's very scarce information, but there's something intriguing about being able to go outside of the property potentially. I don't know if that's even an option that they're considering, but excursion wise to other areas on
that's
Eleuthera.
cool. Can I take you to the exumas?
Or no, like can we go out to an area and get a taxi and go into some like you would in any
Kinda
port
like
of call?
The Alaskan port.
Yeah, but any port of
and
call.
You can go into Huna from.
Yeah, any port of call where you
Icy
can
Strait.
actually go to someplace local.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's not, controlled or overseen by the cruise line, but someplace.
You can experience local food, local
'Cause
culture.
That's part of the fun of going to some ports, eating actually really local food, not, always necessarily coming back for lunch at Cabanas or.
I had cod fritters today in Nassau.
In space? In space?
We shared.
It was good.
It was good.
So
Are you talking about space or the port?
Nassau.
Okay.
You would have enjoyed the cod fritters. You need to come next time.
Yeah, we had sidetrack. We had a great time ashore this morning in Nassau. But it would be interesting if there's something we could do to, or I would like go outside the gates that are there to explore more of the area.
Oh, and a new 5K path.
Oh, goodness.
Oh my goodness.
It's not just the bike loop.
Commentary on the 5K right there.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe a new, when they do the Run Disney, they do the whole Castaway one instead of, they'll go to Lighthouse Point because it'll be more exciting.
Oh, Run Disney can double down on that one.
Don't give them ideas. They already charge enough. Do we do? Oh, we've already passed the lightning round. I was gonna say we missed favorite lounge.
We could do that. Okay, hold on.
We missed favorite lounge.
Really?
Promenade lounge is the best.
That's back to
No.
lightning round.
Lighthouse.
I love how my 12, almost 13-year-old wants to weigh in on
That's-
favorite lounge.
Well, La Piazza has
it's
a lot
the-
of crafts.
Yeah.
Oh, they do.
Also, it's promenade.
Do you want to talk about your favorite thing to do on board?
Crafts.
Well, you made a door hanger today. What's on your door hanger?
Forky.
Forky? He's trash.
What's your favorite thing to do on board, Justin?
Favorite thing to do on board? Visit the adult beverage dispensing areas.
Dispensing areas.
Eat and relax on deck 9. It's amazing.
Probably deck 4.
I agree. Deck 9, the food.
Characters.
Ooh, characters and palette.
Just lounging.
Sing Ella.
I like the shows.
Deck 4.
The shows.
I like the nightclubs at night.
Nightclubs.
I'm a deck 4 fan as well. I definitely enjoy deck 4, hanging out and just chilling. Also, Tammy's balcony is a quick second to deck 4.
Because if you're hungry, just ask the people above you in cabanas and they'll drop you down some food.
Or a pulley system. With a basket. Little basket.
We can do a little basket. Just don't want to get that. I do like deck 4. Deck 4 is pretty great.
Yeah, Isabel and I like to rock the shuffleboard in the mornings.
It's nice when I'm doing some running and then you guys are out there playing shuffleboard. And then I'm like, Isabel, go get me water.
Then we can complain about those runners getting in the way of our shuffleboard.
That's my life.
So,
Is everybody having a good time on this ship? I know it's only the second day, but how's everything for everybody? Good? Anything that you guys would like to see us do, or something that you thought of that you're like, it would be really fun if we did X, Y, and Z? Anything? Trivia's coming.
It is. Quotes, the music trivia.
It's coming. We're going to get that soon. We're going to kill the 90s this time.
Okay.
We're winning.
Oh,
we're
yes,
winning.
we are. We are.
Do we have a private beverage seminar?
We do not have a private beverage seminar.
We did today. You were there.
You were there. It was the Pirates Brewery.
Hey, where was Craig?
Hi, Craig.
You didn't tell me to invite Craig.
Craig should have known.
Thrown under the bus. Yes.
Do you think that they'll institute like the magic band on the new cruise ships?
So the question is, do we think there'll be magic bands on the new cruise ships?
There should be. Although I think has anybody sailed on a Royal Caribbean where they have the bands? Do you have to pay for that though, don't you? And the band gets you what? Nothing. So you're paying for just being able to like access your room and stuff.
Do you
Princess has
a medallion?
Yeah,
The
the medallion,
like a coin.
which is a pretty cool feature.
And what does it do that's different that you couldn't do with just like a key card?
It's like a GPS. I mean, you can sit somewhere, and order a drink on the app, and they'll bring the drink to you wherever you are on the ship.
I hear they do that on Virgin. If you just shake your phone, the champagne person will come to you.
Well, obviously we leave the phone at home.
Put your phone down! Put your phone down! No, that's a true thing though. they'll find you. So it's a little bit different on Princess then because Royal doesn't seem like it's much different than using your card.
It's not much different than using.
But you pay for it.
Yes.
With Princess it does.
Another aspect of the Princess Medallion is that you can find your family members on the ship.
Oh, nice.
So you know where people are.
Which is funny because I'm pretty sure that with Disney, like with the Oceaneer bands, you can, but they don't tell you that they can. But I guarantee you, if she had a band on and they couldn't find her, they'd be able to find her.
Sure.
They don't
I
tell
don't know what
you
you're
they
talking
can.
about. Not possible.
I don't know why he's towing the company line.
Yes.
You're unaffiliated.
It unlocks it before you
So-
even get to it.
And charging privileges, all the other things.
With those
It
bands,
would be great to use a magic band, honestly.
At
As
the-
long as it worked.
at the
As long
very
as it
least, it'd be
worked.
nice to have as an option, or like even for the kids, just to be able to get into the room with them. That they're getting them from the Oceaneer Lab and Club,
Right.
so they wouldn't necessarily have to. Okay, maybe not.
Well, but think about it though. Once she hits 13, she gets no band anymore.
Right.
So she would need to get something different in order to get into the room. So if they're only giving them to the kids that can, I mean, your 6-year-old's not going to roll around the ship trying to get into your room without a parent.
She might go ring on some doorbells.
Okay, but she's almost. She has never done that.
It would be nice to have, at least as an option, instead of carrying a cart around. If you're up at the pool, or it's a lot easier than carrying a cart around.
I mean, who's giving their small child charging privileges? I'll have a cotton candy smoothie.
Those who would like to have surprises on their bill. I mean, remember the old arcade? Hey, there's an arcade here. All I had to do is tell my card.
Penelopes and Sweet on You.
There's unlimited candy by the pound.
Macarons.
All I do is go up there, Mom, and they ask me for my card. Magically.
That's why she didn't get charging privileges until the last cruise and this cruise.
What'd you buy?
Nothing.
Okay, nothing good.
Yep.
But good point though, because I mean, a magic band alleviates all of your, paraphernalia, and it allows you to just kind of tap in and out when it works. Anything else, Scott, that you can think of that you?
Then how would you take the band off and then put it in the card slot in your room to turn on your lights?
They don't have those on this ship.
Not this ship. But
Destinations who sent you cards.
you'd still have to do something.
That is the correct answer.
I guess they could have RFID readers in your room.
But you don't have on the Magic and Wonder. That's it.
I know, but we're talking to future.
Well, the Wish is going to be a whole different situation.
Probably
So-
sense
It's
that
gonna
you.
be Alexa.
GPS knows you're in your room.
They'll have plumbing that works too. The plumbing will work.
Well, that's the other thing though is there's if you look at all
Alexa, open my room.
like what Isabel was saying, she's tired of
Rapunzel, turn on the lights.
they did a survey about
Siri.
those.
Siri is not
I didn't understand that.
I'm sorry, I don't.
Well, they are
understand
coming
what
out with
you're
that Genie app too. The Genie app that will find ways to upcharge you for things. But what?
They never had a bill
Or
like
lead you to something that's in their financially best interest. What?
Giggle, giggle, giggle.
Giggle, giggle.
Don't ask.
You should go in timeout over there.
No, I'm not going in time.
She's only laughing because Justin said you ain't never had a bill like you.
That's my fault. You can blame me.
See, you.
We've been there, by the way, so don't even.
I mean, like Isabel was saying, would like to see a different cabanas kind of place, but a lot of it has to do with
A different playlist.
no. Back on the band, I finished my thought.
There's too many times.
No. I don't mind Jimmy Buffett, but come on.
But the it's almost like a lot of stuff is similar across all the ships. So when you go from ship to ship, you're familiar with it. It's maybe as a cruiser, so having newer technology on, say, the Wish and the 3 new ships, and then it's a bigger separation when you come to the Dream and Fantasy and Magic and Wonder that isn't always, I kind of miss the bells and whistles that seem to be commonplace. That if look how long it took to add on demand for the Magic and Wonder.
But here's something that I'm thinking about. So, okay, for kids club areas on the Dream and Fantasy, the Edge and Vibe.
Edge is 100%
way
better.
Better than they are here, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also then, for people that enjoy hot tubs, I mean, they took those out of the Dream, like the family hot tubs. So you just on the Fantasy, it's still there, but
the kids' soup bowls.
But still, the kids like the soup bowl, okay? But thinking of that, to have that on the Wish, I mean, the kids' areas will be nice, but they took things that,
and added a puddle pool.
Yeah,
that's
added a puddle
usually
pool.
empty.
So they kind of need to, like, think of what is getting a lot of, play on the new ships that they... I mean, why would you put Quacks there? I know you want to try to sell as much merch as you can, but who buys anything from Quacks? Nobody. People just go there and they look and they walk away. Justin's bought.
Hi, Justin. What have you purchased from Quacks lately?
Sunscreen.
Sunscreen.
Okay, fair. But they do have the...
How is that not on your packing list?
Because airplanes and pressurized canisters.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, I bet that was fun to open.
Yeah.
Whoops. But who's in Winston's would have that? You'd have to walk, like...
And thingamabobs.
A little bit further. But, I mean, you wouldn't... if Quacks wasn't there, you wouldn't be like, oh, no, I can't buy sunscreen. You just have to walk, like, 40 paces further. Which is tough, I know. But if there was a beer at the end, it'd be fine. Or a rum drink, or...
Now we're talking.
There we go.
So all I'm hearing is you should start selling sunscreen
at the bars.
Yeah, bars.
Genius.
That might get more people to wear it. To be fair.
You would cut alley sales.
All right. Does anybody have anything else that they're interested in discussing, or... Tammy.
Yes. I think we would like to hear Scott's thoughts on a new Castaway Club level.
Oh, jeez.
I'm going to put the mic down.
Just your opinions.
Wow. I feel like I should have saw this one coming.
You've already made the diamond level. You've made the diamond anchor.
Okay, so recently there have been rumors of another Castaway Club level, as well as guest survey that's been going around. I think it might be a post-cruise survey. It's a post-cruise survey that's asking, about, it mentioned a fourth called Ambassador, along with, silver, gold, and platinum. Ambassador might be... I made a diamond logo with an anchor. It kind of diamond sounds better, but I don't know. Anyway, the idea is out there about a fourth potential Castaway Club level, which I've been thinking kind of makes sense leading up to the announcement of Disney Wish and Disney Wish 2 and Disney Wish 3 ships. That you got maybe some separation for
class.
The early bookings for them, of a little separation on kind of weeding out the larger group of platinum cruisers that are now established after 22 some years of cruising. It's not out of the realm. It's probably a big bucket. I don't know the numbers, but obviously Disney knows the numbers, and they can look at all their passengers to see where they kind of fit in and what could potentially... I've been thinking there's so many ways to do it. Other cruise lines have, number of night, equations where it's like days, nights, or a number of cruises, nights, benefits for sailing, like concierge level, like bumps like that, and all these other things. And
Bonnie would be up there.
I don't know. I think obviously the easiest way to do is just add another level based on a number of nights, and it's pretty consistent, so everybody that's in a current level doesn't really shift around. I think we were talking this morning that, maybe a fourth level could be like an add-on. What were you saying?
That we're talking about the number of cruises that if they put the new.
It's.
Sorry.
Just take the mic.
No, it's a cord.
So the conversation kind of went where that if they just added on a new level, and it still went based upon the number of cruises. Let's say it went from, or for 25 for the next level, and somebody has been at 26 for years, but they haven't taken one in 5 years. You would still have to take another cruise as a platinum in order to activate the next level status.
So there's extra criteria attached to that fourth level. That what have you done for me lately? Kind of.
Just somewhat of a caveat to not as much smite your cruisers who are currently going with you 1, 2, 3 times a year, every year, whatever.
All right. So there's a lot of ways to go, and there's merit in all of them. And unless there's also changes to the perks at each level, it really comes. We boiled it down to early booking for things is more or less the key benefit of the different levels. Being able to book opening day cruises, one day ahead of the next level, or being able to book your port adventures for online check-in and all that stuff, at different tiers. So, and like Apollo and Remy kind of bookings, whatever may be on the future ships. So, I don't really care how it goes. It's going to be what it's going to be, and I'm not going to get.
Also, Disney doesn't care what you think either, so that's fine.
Okay, I mean, I feel like if they've thought about it, they've kind of already know the direction they're going.
Correct.
And waiting for, a think tank to kind of, yell at them or say this is good, bad, mixed.
Definitely going to happen before the wish bookings open.
It seems logical just to kind of separate out the demand for maiden voyage and early sailings. I don't know.
Who's booking the maiden voyage? We're gonna try, as long as I don't have to mortgage my house, second mortgage, or sell my child.
Isabel's not for sale.
Who's gonna own me?
We will.
Disney.
I'm gonna sleep on Tammy's Murphy bed.
We'll all do the math and cram in his little number of rooms and split the bill.
11B! Woo!
We'll figure it out. We'll do the math, run some numbers. We'll pick roommates.
Fine.
Sign roommate agreements and all that,
Disney's cruises for car titles.
So, like I said, I don't. If they're gonna change up the levels, it's gonna be what it is. It seems logical if it's been talked about. Everybody kind of wishes.
Wishes.
Oh, jeez.
See what he did there.
Pun not intended.
I mean, you hear the conversation all the time. I wish it was number. It would be nice if it was based on number of nights. It'd be nice if it was based on, modifiers. If I booked, a concierge room, it'd be nice.
Well,
If
World does do a good job. You do it on nights, and then you get extra points if you do a suite, which you pay enough, especially on Disney. The concierge pricing is crazy, so I do think that affords you.
There's merit. There's merit to everything, and it's just a matter of what it boils down to. And it would be the simplest thing they could do is just add another category that separates not, like gold 5 to 10, but maybe 10 to 20, 10 to 25. Bigger separation. To.
I think they almost need to add a night status. How many nights at sea have you done? It's where you can do 25 3-night cruises
Right.
to get the diamond status, but is that really diamond status? How many nights did you spend? So is it worth owing the extra?
Because as we were talking about this morning, the minimum, if you exclude the previous 2-night cruises they've optioned, Platinum's 30 nights. It's 30 nights sailing with Disney, based on
And that still could be
10 3-night cruises is a minimum.
Sure.
But it's what is.
Walt suite.
We were talking to somebody the other day. A lot when you kind of think through these things, it comes down to what is Disney's motivation for doing anything, and how does it affect them financially in a positive manner, and not you negatively, but benefit them, and what is their angle at decisions. So, we've already, just throwing it out.
There's Tiffany's on the Dream and Fantasy.
But throwing out the ideas of even an additional possible level, people were talking about like, well, should I cruise 2 more times before the Wish itineraries come out so I can book? Like, people, it's a lot of conversation that's happened over the years that I've heard is we booked another cruise so we could be gold or we could be platinum before this like one cruise so we'd have a better opportunity to get in port adventures. So, that's already kind of built into the whole thing where it's incentivized. Not good with the words like.
Well, he don't know talking good like me and you. So his vocabularistics is limited to I and am and Groot. Exclusively in that order.
There is something to that to get to the next level, to be able to have that perk. And that's why I keep going back in my head. The biggest perk that I see is the ability to book early for things. I don't know. Yes.
So I have, going from that conversation, I have a question for you. Clearly, if they put another level on it, change the structure of it, then policy changes are potentially on the table.
Yeah.
Alcohol package. How would you feel? Do you see that could be a potential route that they would go?
It's interesting. We've looked at like the options and talked to other people around the other cruise lines, and sometimes it's like it's all or none for the stateroom, unless there's you talk to them about it. Like one person just does not drink, so or maybe they're forced into the non-alcohol level beverage plan is a default, because honestly that would be the first thing people would put out there on the internet. Just book one and everybody in your room can I'll just feed you drinks kind of thing. So
you make a good point. That could open a can of worms. Because my Coke Zero, when the pool deck go away.
Yeah, and honestly, do you ever not see people? But do you ever not see people going up to the bars or ordering drinks? Like, what it really goes back to the other thing. Like, how does it benefit them financially? Like,
and the thing is, the drink packages though on the other cruise lines are like $60-some per person per day. So I look at that and think, I mean, Scott and I enjoy a couple beverages, but I don't drink $120 worth per person per day between the two of us. So for a 7-day cruise, that's 700 and some. That's a lot. So do I think Disney could do it? Sure. I think they'd make a ton of money doing it.
because the break even's not really good on your.
I mean, we know people that have broken even on other cruise lines.
Beyond broken even, but
right.
It's not.
But that's a hefty. Yeah.
You got to work up to that one. It's.
I mean, even with the specialty coffees and things, that's a lot. That's a lot. So yes, I think they could. I mean, other cruise lines have unlimited dining, all that stuff. They have all those other options. Sure, you could, but
They also have more, smaller little restaurants they can go to, and even the families can. I mean, if you want to talk about something on the Wish, like they're adult only restaurants, but there's no kind of like smaller restaurant to take your children to that might be, more hands-on or smaller. I mean, obviously, probably it'd be high in demand and they couldn't fill it, and it'd be hard to get into. But there's also that kind of aspect where the adults only is across the line 18, but you can't take younger kids into a smaller restaurant for a
well, thinking of like Royal, they have General
specific
Rocket,
cuisine.
they have Mexican restaurant, and you can take anybody into them and charge. And something like that would be nice.
With more of a sit down
Right.
feel to it.
Because there have been, there have been some cruises where you don't feel like going to dinner. And like the open, and it's like, okay, there's room service, there's the quick service on deck. You've spent all day traipsing around a port, like 8 hours walking, on some of these. You're just like, I don't want to go to dinner. And
nothing against the serving team, nothing against it. You just want to be done.
because they do get like, where were you last night? We missed you, and like, nothing against you. We just really didn't want to go through.
A couple times we didn't go, and it was.
It's like we had a nice lunch on ashore. We didn't want dinner, or we just didn't want to, transition back to the formality of going to, the dinner. It'd just be nice.
Right.
As an option too. go to more of a laid back sit down, or maybe a quick service. Like, I don't know, what are those? Fast casual kind of deals where you order something and maybe you go. I don't know. Yeah, it's like Tijuana Flats, which is our post cruise. Monday. Awesome. Nice. Finally got confirmation on that. But anyway, that's
I know we missed Mexican Day today.
I didn't.
Pirate Night.
I can guarantee you that it was top quality.
It was definitely on
beef
point.
chimichangas. Build your own fajita. Build your taco.
It's so good.
So there might
homemade
wait.
chips.
So that might mean there's some good wraps tomorrow morning at breakfast.
True story.
Little,
You hear that? Scott's favorite guacamole.
Because he's eating it like twice.
there's some guacamole I really enjoy. Well, I mean, you gotta work it up. All right. Well,
Any other questions for Scott or anything you want to review?
now you're quiet.
Question for Scott.
All right.
What is your favorite dish across the Disney Cruise Line fleet, from quick service to the regular main dining? Olive or me don't count.
Ah, okay.
Appetizer, entree, dessert.
That's tough.
It's
She
like
knows
a question
hers.
for Scott, not for you.
I know.
Oh, I think I'm on the hot seat.
Think of it.
How's it feel now?
It's not good. I didn't get these questions in advance. I mean,
Scott's hot seat.
huh. This is my favorite dish. Okay, it's easy. Shawarma.
Boom! Shamus.
Schwammus. Schwamma.
Does love that.
That's
Spot on.
All right, so that's an entree, but I need an appetizer and dessert.
okay.
I know what the dessert is. I know what the dessert
Dessert is the Grand Marnier souffle.
Boom.
Yep.
Dude.
It's
You don't
all-
like any appetizers? I'm just
Oh
kidding.
wait, no, hold on.
Mic drop.
There was no, hold on. I have to backpedal on that. That one rose that we got at Enchanted Garden on the Prince and Princess menu.
That was special.
We've had it once on the Fantasy, and it was delicious.
That was special?
I haven't seen it again.
Is it in one of your trip logs?
Yes, because I was gushing over it, and I probably didn't they bring another one. I don't know what it is. I can't even remember what it. It was just really good.
You love that, but the one that you get typically is the Grand Marnier souffle.
Yeah, I'm,
You didn't say beignets from Tiana.
With the chocolate sauce?
What's your favorite appetizer then?
appetizer, hey. Okay.
That's gonna get copyright.
Does that include soup?
That's copyright music.
Is that appetizer in the soup
No.
category?
Nope.
Darn it. Salad?
Nope.
Goodness. I actually skip a course. It's usually the appetizers I skip. What are those?
Curveball with
What are those baked? Are those baked brie cubes?
What are you asking me?
No, I'm asking for the name of it.
The ones that are on.
Like the cubes of
Oh, the brie with the like cranberry sauce. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and like Lumiere's.
Yeah.
Scott basically just can eat the cheese all the time. It's fine.
Okay.
Holly Bunch, 2 days.
Right.
She wants Parmesan.
I want to answer. I want to answer the soup and salad question.
All right, soup and salad, yeah.
It's the buttered popcorn soup from the animator's palette that's no longer available.
He's so weird.
And then you can put the caramel corn in it. And
No, Dustin. No.
we have the recipe, but we've never made it.
Correct. Correct.
But you've got it.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. It's like a treasure.
We should make it. It's like the one recipe it's probably the only recipe I've ever like tried to track down personally, and I still haven't made it. 'Cause it's one of those gigantic recipes where it makes like a cauldron. So
Every recipe they give you is
well, it's
like,
not. It's like
for
not
50
scaled
people.
down.
Yeah.
Is it on the recipe section of your website?
It is. It's actually like the main image that comes up.
He really loved that. He really loved that.
Who put
Well,
popcorn
but
in
also
soup?
you couldn't eat the pre-plated stuff because it was shellfish. It was like
I don't know what you're
shrimp,
talking about. I
but-
don't have a problem with shellfish.
That's a shellfish steak.
The what am I missing? Of course.
No, you have it. Appetizer, entree, dessert, and soup. Soup or salad.
What was the salad last? The salad last night.
It was
The chicken and walnut.
salsa dressing.
The chicken and walnut salad was delicious last night. Sometimes it's better with the dressing. It's fine. It's fine. I like that salad.
It was good. One more for Scott in the hot seat.
Oh goodness.
Dinner shows. Magic class animators, Dream class animators, Tiana's, Rapunzel's.
Easy.
Come on.
He's sleeping.
Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras night.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would say the Lantern
down the
Show
bayou.
is the close second. Lantern Show and Rapunzel's is a close second. And
The thugs add a lot walking around.
I like the simplicity of the original animators show on the classic ships. Oh, you kind of had it here, but it's a little more animated, a little more. Was this subtle? The room slowly. This is more boom. It was like the slow color changeover through the course, and that nice score to it. It's similar to what it is now, like the non-drawing show. But it was. I like that the simplicity of it, where it's just kind of happening around you, where it's not taking over. I don't have Crush over my shoulder asking questions. Or it's not, or the show is not impacting the pace of the dinner. Kind of thing.
That's true.
Like, how many times are you? You know, the serving team has a hard out at a certain time to go do something specific for the show, set up for the conga line for like Mardi Gras or like the welcoming Mickey out and animators. And if you don't, and if you don't necessarily meet that time, like you're there for another 2 hours waiting to order dessert after, if you don't get it in there before. So it's just the staging, the timing of the show. If you're not locked into it right, it kind of. Or other times when it works seamlessly, it's great. Like, so, I answer your question. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, it took a while, but
I started rambling.
we did get there.
You had a lot of good insight still.
I do enjoy the shows, but you mentioned earlier though the acoustics of them, acoustics in places. Sometimes Tiana's and Rapunzel's, the acoustics are not the best.
I find that Tiana's definitely doesn't have the reverberation issue with the crowd levels that Rapunzel's has, that we saw the first time we ever came on Magic. Karaoke was already here. That was one of the first things we noticed the second we received was how loud the reverberations were. We noticed it was not that bad on Tiana's in contrast, but it's definitely something that you pay attention to.
I know, because even with like repeated show, was it Rapunzel's that either Rapunzel's or Tiana's? Like one time you couldn't hear anything Tiana was saying, like in the back of the restaurant, away from the stage, like the clanging of play. You know, the normal sounds from a dinner seating were just drowning out the dialogue of the show that was going on. You could still hear the soundtrack of the show just fine. The actual dialogue was not coming through, and it just wasn't, I don't know, mixed right or just everything else was overpowering it. No, they're great when they work, or when you can control the environment in the situations.
Right. Like the background music here.
Alexa, turn off the music.
You even have all
I'm sorry.
I know, but somebody might be listening with an Alexa and it'll mess them up. Alexa, order three dozen eggs.
That's evil.
Alexa, book me a Disney cruise.
Yeah, that one's gonna cost us.
Alexa.
We don't have an Alexa. We're gonna.
We don't have itineraries normally, so we're fine.
Oh yeah. True story. One of the questions I was going to ask is, what is your favorite new itinerary for the summer? So, all right, we'll end it with that.
The one that's not released yet.
If you could pick to go anywhere in the summer of 2021, where would you like to go? And whoever said Alaska the first time, you cannot say Alaska again.
Alaska.
Okay, fine.
Fine, she's gonna say Alaska.
Tahiti.
Ooh.
Oh.
I second that. That would be amazing.
Australia and Tahiti.
Oh.
Yeah, and
Greece.
Australia.
British Isles.
Alaska.
Australia.
Hawaii.
Yeah, I'm gonna go a little more affordable with. I've never done the Northern Europe yet, so I'd like to do Northern Europe.
Affordable?
Over Alaska and Tahiti.
Australia.
I'm sorry, that cruise will be $5, but your airfare will be $25,000.
I'm happy to fit in whatever works in the school calendar. And
Like Alaska.
Northern Europe seems, those ports of call seem really cool to visit.
Alaska's fine as long as there's another 9 night. That's the situation.
With Hubbard Glacier and Ketchikan.
I feel like we're in an echo chamber.
It's like going to Clearwater, but in Alaska. The same stores.
No.
Wow.
It's not.
The candies, the fudge, the ice cream, the She likes taxidermy and kettle corn.
And
Simple.
otters.
And otters. Very
Deadliest
simple.
crab tour is in Ketchikan.
My parents did that.
It is needed and it's awesome.
Heather did that too. The deadliest catch.
You can also meet some of the deadliest catch stars there if you're lucky.
Which we were in not Sitka. Castaway Cay. Icy Strait Point.
I guess you can kind of refer to Icy Strait. The best way of thinking about it, it's kind of like our own little Castaway Cay here in Alaska.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not a private island.
No.
But it feels that way.
Yeah, it has that vibe to it. Everything you need is right there.
And one of the deadliest catch boats,
The Brenna A.
the Brenna A, sailed by. And apparently they were in Hoona the night before, kind of just hanging out at the local bar or brewery.
The deadliest catch members would never hang out at a local bar.
Yeah.
So it's worth noting that when we were in Ketchikan 2.5 years ago, 2.5 years ago, that walking down the pier, the Brenna A was docked there. The Dwyer family actually has a restaurant in Ketchikan.
Oh.
That's where they had the Brenna A
It did,
registered.
but it's not theirs anymore. When we
They
went,
sold it?
yes.
So, but when we were
It
walking down
was.
the pier,
We went to that. We went there
up
for
top,
lunch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's good though.
But it was still good.
Yeah.
We actually met Sean Dwyer and his mom. They stopped and talked to us 25 minutes.
Wow.
Told us different things about Alaska, things to look for when doing the
Just
crab
this
tour.
last summer was not theirs, but yes, it was. Yes, you're right. It was.
I think it was a recent changeover because, like, when we were Googling it while we were sitting in there, we're like, there's mixed information. Signs were different, but there's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have
It
you
was still
caught-
good.
Have you caught on to a common theme of this? Everybody.
Nobody loves Alaska, and I don't know why. I wonder why nobody
It's
loves
like
Alaska.
fake cold. It's not like really cold. It's like fake cold.
It's a wedding.
There's a wedding engagement.
If there's a wedding there, it might be a reception. Well, I want to thank everybody for coming out, for cruising with us. It's been fun. Appreciate everybody coming out for the podcast and making it much better than me making up words into a microphone.
Where the cut-ups.
My doctor says making up words.
I try to make up words. None of them make sense. You should read the trip reports.
Stop it! I edit those.
You should read them before they're edited. They're great.
It's potato.
I'm the proofreader.
No, you should post one.
No, that's about it. Some of those get out.
No.
Yeah. I really appreciate everybody showing up, sailing with us. It's been awesome, and I hope the rest of the cruise is just as magical.
No, stop.
And that is a wrap on our live podcast recording from the DCL Blog Cruise number 2. And here's our big announcement. some of you might have already heard, but in 2021, we are embarking on a 7-night Western Caribbean cruise aboard the Disney Fantasy for DCL Blog Cruise number 3. The cruise will leave Port Canaveral on July 31st, head to Cozumel, Grand Cayman, Falmouth, and Castaway Cay. There'll also be 2 sea days in there, and we'll be planning with extra time some more events. Obviously, we'll do another podcast recording with everybody. If you book before July 1st of this year, 2020, there'll be some extra onboard incentives from our travel partners for this cruise, Storybook Destinations. I'll give a link in the show notes. You can go to storybookdestinations.com. There's a DCL blog link there right on the homepage, or check it out in the show notes for this podcast episode for all the booking details. And we will soon be releasing kind of a tentative schedule of events as we move forward now that the dust is settling from the summer 2021 itinerary announcements, and we're kind of decompressing following our latest group cruise and kind of getting back to our normal lives here on land. Again, thanks for checking us out, and we'll talk to you next time. Have a question, comment, rumor, or just want to say hi? Call 321-765-3252 to leave a voicemail, and we just might include it in a future episode. You can reach us via the comments section on the website, email at contact@disneycruiselineblog.com, Twitter @the DCL blog, and Facebook, facebook.com/Disney Cruise Line Blog.